Way on to political issues. Hollie, we'll go to you now. Mark Dreyfus, he tried to drag Peter Dutton into the Nazi debate on Tuesday in Parliament, even though he had nothing to do with it. Was that an overreach by Mark Dreyfus?
Look, I think what we see from Mark Dreyfus is all show, no pony. What happened in the House of Representatives yesterday was actually quite bizarre. There was taunting by Mr Dreyfus towards Mr Dutton, who came out very strongly against the Nazi salute and actually proposed a banning of it. But I understand when, and obviously we're in the Senate, we don't see what happens in the reps in real time, but I understand that Paul Fletcher, as Leader of Opposition Business, raised a question with regards to Mr Dreyfus's comments the day before, and that led to the Coalition walking out. I think, you know, there's a bit of a saying, whoever raises the Nazis first loses the debate, and that certainly happened yesterday with Mr Dreyfus. OK, well, you're in the House, Matt. The opposition then tried to introduce a bill banning Nazi symbols, but that was rejected, so why not support that?
Well, it was a stunt. The opposition bunged on a motion and they didn't consult the government about it. They didn't consult the crossbench about it. We're happy to have a discussion with the opposition about a motion to ban Nazi salutes, and we certainly think that something like that is worthy of consideration. But, you know, you need to consult with the government. You can't just come into the parliament, particularly when we're debating legislation and we've got a program that's set for the day, and expect that we're going to drop all of that. The other side of being Nazi sympathisers at the same time. I mean, it's just extraordinary. You can't say one thing and then oppose the other. It's just absolutely the overreach by Mr Dreyfus in his accusations towards Mr Dutton, which are absolutely vile in their nature, and yet when something was proposed, Labor went running straight away and are now hiding behind process. Well, it's a fact that a Liberal member of Parliament in Victoria was at a rally on Sunday.
Peter Dutton wasn't there, though.
The Nazi salute was used by some right-wing extremists. Even the Liberal leader in the Victorian Parliament sought to expel this woman from their party.
But the point being that Peter Dutton wasn't there.
I don't know, Miss Deeming. She was there to support women's rights, and I think to try and bring the two together and say somehow that women supporting the rights of biological women is somehow equal to Nazi support, neo-Nazism, is absolutely insulting.
No, that's true.
I don't know Miss Deeming, I don't know any of these people, but to try and diminish these women who were there to support women's rights, biological women's rights, and of course today we're hearing that a number of people who are quite vocal in this campaign of supporting biological women are now not attending a rally under fears for their own safety from trans activists.
I will ask you about that in a second, but just to finish off that point there, Matt, I mean, and this is a matter that John Pursuta is going to have to pick up. Ms Deeming, you know, I don't think she can be held responsible if she didn't know that these Nazis were going to be there. But Matt, the point being that was it fair to target Peter Dutton about this when he clearly wasn't there?
Well, the point that Mark Dreyfus was making was that, you know, the actions of some at that particular rally were offensive, particularly to people of Jewish faith, and Mark is certainly a person of Jewish faith. And he was basically asking the Leader of the Opposition to condemn the actions of the Liberal MP attending that rally, and the Leader of the Opposition chose not to. And Mark and others of
well, no, he did condemn. He did condemn straight after. He was prompted to it, and he did do it.
And I didn't hear Mr Albanese condemning the swastikas that were put over Josh Frydenberg's face during the last campaign, because no one made Mr Albanese directly responsible for those swastikas being drawn onto cornflakes over Josh's face.
Is there hypocrisy there,
How do we draw the line?
Well, look, anti-Semitism and these sort of right-wing extremist actions that we've seen have no place in Australian society. And Mike Burgess, the chief of ASIO, warned a couple of years ago that right-wing extremism was on the rise. The actions of neo-Nazi groups were growing in Australia, and that we had to be ever vigilant. And that's why, you know, governments of both persuasions have put in place additional measures through our security and intelligence services to try and counteract these activities. But I just want to make the point that everyone has the right to express their views in Australia if they do it peacefully and in
Okay.
accordance with the law, and that's on both sides of this argument.
Okay, just on that point,
hold back from scoring political points by
just
accusing Mr. Dutton
just to manage time.
Neo-Nazis.
Just to manage time. Just on that point, Matt. So, with that regard, does Kelly J. Keane, do you support her speaking today? She is a British transgender rights critic. Do you support her speech in Canberra today?
Well, I support everyone having the right to speak freely about issues such as this, as long as they do it in accordance with the law and it is done peacefully. So sure, everyone's got the right to express their views in Australia. That's the wonderful thing about our democracy. But sometimes these rallies can get heated and people can get violent, and we don't want to see that. And we want to make sure that everyone has the right to continue to express their views and to protest peacefully.
And do you blame the hard left or the hard right for that when things get violent?
Oh, look, you know, that's a matter for the police. The police are well equipped to make determinations about people that go overboard and make arrests. And some arrests were made in Sydney a couple of nights ago at an event that Mark Latham was speaking at, because people went overboard and they broke the law. So that's a matter for the police to determine if someone breaks the law, and if you do, you'll be arrested.
Well, on that point, Hollie, I mean, some have withdrawn today at that event because of security concerns over transgender activists.
Well, and I think that's absolutely disgraceful that members of Parliament in particular cannot have their safety guaranteed to speak at a rally that is in support of women's rights. And I think it just reflects the continuation of the diminishment of the rights of biological women, that women are being erased through this sort of political correctness woke agenda that no one, you know, anyone can be pregnant, not just women, that women are chest feeders, that, I mean, you know, it's just absolutely insulting to women that that's how they're being referred to, and this agenda in the erasure of women is now leading to politicians, elected representatives, not feeling safe to speak to Australian citizens in public.